Video games make great use of mathematics to simulate their mechanics. One way they do so is through the use of vectors and vector math. Vectors are defined by a direction and a magnitude or length. In other words, a vector is a line with a specified direction. However, vectors are represented by three numbers that indicate coordinates in 3D space. From these numbers, the direction is calculated from the origin to the coordinates, and so is the distance. Two vectors can be added together by simply adding their coordinates together to create a new vector. In the same way, they can be subtracted. They can also be multiplied by a single value, called a scalar, that applies to all of its values. Multiplying a vector by another vector is more complicated. There are two ways of doing it. The first is called the dot product. It is calculated by multiplying the vectors together the same way we would add them, and then adding their values together. The result is the angle between the two vectors. The second way of multiplying vectors is called the cross product. It is calculated with this formula, and the result is a new vector, also called the normal vector, which is perpendicular to both original vectors. These properties of vectors let us do fun things in video games. For example, with this formula, we can project one vector onto another. This can be useful for snapping something along a line. Another trick is that we can use the cross product of two vectors to determine if something is on one side of a line or the other. This can be used to find if something is within a certain area or not by checking for multiple lines. Thank you for watching, and have fun finding more uses for vectors in game development.